and the rebirth of Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency, last I checked, one Bitcoin was worth $641. Keep in mind, it opened today at 637 US. It was helped along mid-session by China devaluing its yuan to 2010 levels. On Friday, though, Bitcoin soared as much as 20% as global markets churned lower, with every news flash coming from Britain. But global uncertainty and central bank action is not the only driver of the currency. According to my next guest, Bitcoin Group CEO Sam Lee, and he joins me now live. Good afternoon, Sam. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Obviously, you have a vested interest in Bitcoin. However, I will ask this question. It's appreciated more than gold on a percentage basis in the wake of the EU referendum. So some are saying that Bitcoin is another serious safe haven asset with gold. Do you see that as possible?
Well, we've already seen that demonstrated because Bitcoin is the only maths-based currency out there. All the other currencies that are run by governments are governed by people. And when you're comparing maths and people, you would always trust maths.
Okay, so let's talk the maths when it comes to Bitcoin. I had no idea. A lot of people, I guess I'm one of them, still don't understand Bitcoin fully. But the Bitcoin supply is being cut in half in July of this year. And from what I understand, this is like Bitcoin law. What's behind this?
That's right. So every 4 years, roughly, the value of Bitcoin surges because the supply of new Bitcoins being introduced by the network reduces by half. This is the terminology used by our industry called block halving. And what that does is the mathematical supply of newly introduced Bitcoins will decrease as time progresses. So initially, when Bitcoin first came out, there was roughly 50 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. And now it's at 25, and in 2 weeks' time, it'll be 12.5. And that will leave us to a mathematically fixed possibility of no more than 21 million Bitcoins.
Yeah, so there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins released over the Bitcoin lifecycle, from what I understand. That right?
That is correct.
Okay, so when will retail investors get an easy way to purchase Bitcoins? Because the infrastructure to do so, from what I understand, is really still in the foundation building stage of its development arc. So what steps are being taken to make it a more commonly traded currency?
Well, there is already plenty of retail interest, and many exchanges exist in Australia and abroad that allows for trading of local government-backed currencies with Bitcoin. And what we see is Bitcoin having over $2 billion of liquidity daily, in addition to other cryptocurrencies as well.
But from what I understand, Bitcoin is dependent on the infrastructure that makes transacting it available. Are there any current threats to that infrastructure, or is it sound and in place?
Well, there is a lot of VC-backed capital that is being thrown into the companies that create these exchange platforms, because these exchange platforms essentially allow for remittance to come into play. And we, as a Bitcoin mining company, believe that this increases the utility of the currency and therefore increases indirectly the value.
Could you explain what a BT mining company is? I mean, what makes you a miner?
Sure. So we are Australia's largest and most profitable Bitcoin blockchain company. We do this through the infrastructure layer activity of Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining is us contributing hash power, which is the mathematical calculation to guess a number in the Bitcoin ecosystem. If we are the first to guess it, we receive a block reward, which is newly minted Bitcoins that is mathematically produced by the network.
Okay.
And we could then sell those for real currency.
Right, and it's amongst that 21 million coins that will be released over the Bitcoin life cycle. So when it comes to competitors to Bitcoin, do you think that they could threaten Bitcoin's dominance?
Well, Bitcoin is the blockchain for money. There are other blockchains out there, such as Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, etc. Now, they're doing blockchains for different purposes, and therefore they are not direct competitors to Bitcoin. We see value in growing the ecosystem with them because this blockchain technology is underpinning the revolutionization of the information age.
So how high do you think that Bitcoin could go? How high could Bitcoin, say, versus the US dollar go?
Sure, and I'd like to add that I'm not here to offer any financial advice, but I have, over drinks last Friday, told my high school friends that it'll be 3,600 by this time next year.
3,600. I'm writing that down. We will check in with you this time next year. So all of this action around the halving of the supply comes when in July?
It comes on the 10th, and we are having a block halving party at the Melbourne Blockchain Technology Centre. And like I want to add, Bitcoin this time last year is a third of its current value. So because it is a very niche and very new ecosystem, there's a lot of upward momentum to go.
And a lot of risk. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Maybe we'll see you at that Bitcoin party. Sounds crazy.
Okay, thank you.
See ya. All right, Sam Lee, CEO there of Bitcoin Group in Australia. Stay with us. Carson Scott will bring you through all the final numbers on